it is Tanya, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another speed build. Today, I am building a couple of semi-detached houses. I believe I had a suggestion for this a while ago because it made its way onto my to-do list of builds that sounded fun, and I usually have a list going like that with all these different ideas, and I pick from it each week to see like what sounds fun in that moment, and this sounded like a blast. So that's what we are doing here today. So basically, if you're unaware of what a semi-detached house was, because up until a couple years ago I had never heard that term before, because when I think of these houses I just think duplex, but they're called different things in different parts of the world, and it's basically a house that shares two houses that share a common wall down the center, and often they're very symmetrical like this, so the house is like mirrored over to the other side. So it was kind of a fun idea to do. This is technically a 2-bedroom or a 2-family house, but it's one lot. So you'd have to use the roommate system or whatever you'd like to have the household on the other side. Or you could, of course, just control 2 households in one, decide who lives where and manage who's going into which place at what times. I can imagine that being kind of frustrating to do, but whatever way you want to play this. I did only decorate fully one side for a family I imagine that would be living here, and then the other side is like ready to move in, so it has the kitchen and the bathroom, like it has all the built-in stuff, but it's not decorated with bedrooms and all of that. I thought that was a pretty realistic way to go about it, because you're most likely only going to be living in one of these if you play with this, or maybe you have like a roommate moving in. Maybe you decide you want somebody to live in the furnished apartment and you want to slowly decorate the other one over time. Totally up to you guys, but that's what I went ahead and did for this build. We're just continuing with some of the landscaping now. I spent forever on this. I'm pretty sure we bounced back and forth between going inside and coming back outside because I was having so much fun with the exterior of the build, and I was very happy with how it was coming out, so I just kept wanting to add to it, especially because they have sort of separate yards, but we're working on making the back kind of a mirror image of the front, so these are symmetrical in every way you could think of. The furnishings on the one side, I didn't try and make that symmetrical because why? I'm not usually too big of a fan of symmetrical builds, but that's kind of a huge characteristic of these. But there was no reason to make the furnishings inside that way. But anyway, we're just adding some columns to the front and back porches, getting some stairs and floorings, and trying to make it all look nice. I really enjoyed using these windows. I always forget if they're from Base Game or if they're from City Living, because one of those packs, Base Game or City Living, has it as 3 windows next to each other, and then one of them has it as a single window. And I never remember which one's which. So those are from either Base Game or City Living. There's a variety of them in those 2 packs, but we're working on the floor plan now. It's pretty closed off and more of a traditional floor plan, which I thought was a nice change of pace because I feel like I don't do traditional floor plans too often. When you walk in, you're in the living space. There's a closed off kitchen, but it is renovated. So the whole place is kind of a little bit of an older style, with the exception of the kitchens, which are more modern, which I thought was really nice and quite realistic in a lot of places. I've been so many places where everything's really old, but the kitchen is updated. And honestly, I love that because I love an updated kitchen. I feel like my place is kind of like that. It's a little bit more outdated, older, but the kitchen looks nice. It's not ultra modern, but it's definitely been renovated in the last few years. So hopefully this build captures that whole concept. But we're upstairs in the bathroom now, which has not been renovated. It's kind of old style, and I like that. And I feel like the whole place is decorated that way because this person came in with their furniture, and just because they have an updated kitchen doesn't mean they're going to decorate the whole place in that way. So I used a lot of the furniture pieces that came with Get Together. Of course, they fit this world great. We are building in the world of Windenburg, which is a stunning world. I love it so much. And we're back outside doing more landscaping. No surprise there. I wanted to have a little walkway up to the back area of this house. There's not too much going on back there. And I also have these little driveways with these cars. These are from Show Live Edit Objects. I get a lot of questions when I place them down where I'm getting them from. They are not functional. They are purely decoration, and they are under the Show Live Edit Objects cheat, which is part of debug. It's a whole thing. There's a lot of cheats you have to enter to grab them, and then you have to scroll through a lot of stuff. So it takes a while to grab them, and there's no function to them, but they look nice. It looks like you have some cars outside. So I quite like adding those sometimes, but we're just doing some terrain paint. adding lots of gardening stuff outside of the house that we're decorating, and a little bike. I just think it looks so cute. There's something so nice about just adding a bike outside of a house. I don't know what it is. I just really like it. I guess because it's actually a functional object as well. It's not just decorative like the cars are. I still hope we eventually get cars. And I know everyone's all over the board with that, whether you care or not or want them or not. Some people are really passionate about wanting them or not wanting them. I think it would be great. I don't know if we're ever going to get them at this point. We're 6 years into this game, but I'm happy that we do have bikes. I think they're really cool, and it looks like we're getting some sort of new bike with the new pack coming out next month as well. So I'm excited to check those out. But we are into the living space now. I did use 2 of these sofas from Get Together. I combined them together into an L shape. I do that a lot with couches, and this is one of the packs that did it right. It gave us a couch and a love seat that match. It's so wonderful. There's so many packs that don't do that. So I really enjoy that. And I love combining just browns and greens. It's very more of a earthy natural tones in here. And I use this rug from Strangerville, which I think is such a pretty rug. Just have a little end table over here with some knickknacks, and then we are working on a place to hang your coats when you first walk in the door. These homes are 2 bedrooms on each side, so if you're only using one side, you only have 2 bedrooms at your disposal. I think you could probably get rid of the dining room and make that into a 3rd bedroom if you wanted, because it's just a closed off space. You could put a door there instead of an archway, and voila, 3rd bedroom. But I did want this to have just the 2 bedrooms upstairs, and with that, I imagined that there were either 2 parents or a parent. I'm not really sure. I didn't really make that decision, and their son. So that's the bedrooms upstairs. Is there's the master, and then there's like a teenage son. So I was kind of thinking more so like just entering high school, which is still a teenager, but younger teenager. But anyway, this is the living room done, and we are moving on into the kitchen space now. I added a tea maker and some of those teas, microwave, a bunch of little appliances and decorations in here. I wanted to keep it fairly minimal so that you could still prepare food in here. I'm pretty sure you can. I didn't play test this yet, but I will before I upload it to the gallery, so no worries on that. And just adding some cookbooks up on top of the microwave. I find that to be really realistic. And then we are moving on into the master bedroom. I kept it pretty neutral and beige in here. I just really liked how cozy it looked. I feel like it matches the rest of the house very nicely. And honestly, it's a really spacious master bedroom. I feel like in real life especially, I would think this is very spacious. I've seen way bigger ones in The Sims. You could make like this whole lot a bedroom. I don't know how people do mansions in this game, because like, what do you put in there? Okay, I already have 2 living rooms in my bedroom. What now? I don't know how to build really large things. I think that was a pretty spacious bedroom though. But we are on into the son's bedroom. I did imagine that he was a athlete. We have a couple of those decorations around. I also imagined he was trans, and I included that flag. I love having the pride flags in the game, so always happy to include those. And just a cork board with some decorations on it. Very teenager or young teenager-y looking room. I really had fun with this one. It has a pretty strong blue theme to it, but it's not too in your face, I don't think. It's like pale blue walls and a blue bedspread. I imagine it's just pretty generic stuff that you can grab at Walmart. So, I imagine that this sim isn't too into, I need my room to look a specific way. They just have a collection of stuff they've gotten over time that's cozy and fun, and have a little desk set up over here. I love this little ottoman from City Living. It has some fun colors on it. I think I kept it in the yellow swatch, which is not one I ever use. I always use the one that has the black cushion on top because it's more versatile, but I thought for this room it was a little bit of fun to have a mixture of the primary colors. I don't know if that's a callback to the bathroom I just built recently that was very primary, but I was really enjoying this color scheme in here, and I loved adding these succulents and the basketball up on this dresser and combining the mirror with that dresser. I just really liked how that came out. But we're going to be adding these pillows from Toddler Stuff up here, and I think one more rug, and I think that's it for this bedroom. I think it's pretty cozy, it's a little bit more youthful, and that's exactly what I was going for. So hopefully you guys like how this room came out. We're just going to place this one last stuffed animal in here and then move to the backyards where we're going to finish up the landscaping. I did do landscaping in both yards because I thought that made the most sense, but I only decorated the one for the house that we were working on. And I put a lot of gardening stuff out here because I imagine the parent or parents were pretty interested in that. And then I also added monkey bars, which I think are probably just still there from when when this kid was a child, because I feel like it's kind of unrealistic to just instantly be gone of monkey bars or a swing set or anything like that. I know there's ways to get rid of them, but I feel like you end up hanging on to those things longer than you typically would with other items your kids grow out of, because they're so big and bulky and hard to move. So that's still back there, and we're just going to get a table and a barbecue, and that's it. We're going into screenshots. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and if you click that bell, it'll turn on notifications so you'll be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye, everybody.